Good evening. Please stand for flag salute with a brief prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless us as we gather today for this freeholder meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so we may work together for the good of our community. Help us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce adequate notice that this meeting has been provided. Pursuant to the 2019 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting, this public announcement, and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Hobson is absent. Freeholder O'Connell?
Here.
Deputy Director Singh is also absent. Freeholder Taggart?
Here.
Director Pullian?
Here. At this time, I'd like to have approval of minutes of both the public and conference meetings of September 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we're going to move on to recognitions for the evening.
Thank you.
Freeholder O'Connell. We
Thank
have
you, Freeholder
recognition
Director.
for Freehold 4-H week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This year, National 4-H Week runs from October 6th through October 12th, and this year's theme is Inspire Kids to Do. This week provides an opportunity to honor the great work that 4-H does and showcase the incredible experiences that 4-H offers young people. In 4-H, kids complete hands-on projects in areas like health, science, agriculture, and civic engagement in a positive environment, where they receive guidance from adult mentors and are encouraged to take on proactive leadership roles. We are honored to have such a wonderful 4-H program here in Burlington County. I'd like to call up Gloria Kraft, head of the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Burlington County 4-H program, and some of her students. He's your representative speaker. Come on up here, guys. And you come too? No, we want you.
Everybody come up.
Yep, all yours. We have.
Hold on, kids. Hold on, kids.
We want her too. Does she want to do? Gloria, come on up. Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of volunteers here too. They should all come up.
Well, they should have given us their names. No, bring them all. The more the merrier.
Make Mary Pat come up too.
Make Mary Pat come up? I don't make Mary Pat do anything. I'm going to read one of these resolutions and then I'll hand them out to each other. And if they're not here, we'll make sure to get this to them. Burlington County recognizes National 4-H Week. The Board of Chosen Freeholders honors exemplary Burlington County students for their achievements that go above and beyond their classroom successes and make a difference in our community. This certificate is presented to Alexis, is it Lurch or Lurch? Lurchy? Thank you very much. Congratulations. And next we have Cody McBride. You want to say something?
Yeah.
He's the spokesperson.
On behalf of Burlington County 4-H, I just want to thank you for our recognition.
Okay. You thank all of you. I just forgot his certificates. Next we have Olivia Dragan? Dragan. Hi, Olivia. Congratulations. Ian Myers. Nathaniel Myers. You too? Cassandra Dilks. Nona Chamberlain. Thank you. Nicole Myers. Congratulations. Donna Dilks. Brianna Boyd.
Thank you.
You're welcome, congratulations. We don't bite, I promise you. And last but certainly not least, Gloria Kraft.
Right here.
I
I guess so. We have 744 kids, but I didn't think you'd have enough certificates.
But we can do it all the time.
Oh, all right. I just want to say that we have several different kinds of clubs in Burlington County. So the people you see here tonight are representative of Horse Club, Animal Club, Community Service Club, Drama Club. So we have a number of different offerings for people, so spread the word because we're open for business. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Gloria, we'll take a picture of all of us.
Oh, you want a picture?
But you guys, do you
Okay.
want them there, Joe, or do you want them somewhere else?
This works.
This works?
Yeah.
Okay. Want me behind them?
You want to get over here?
I don't do that.
Yeah, that works.
Just make sure all the faces can be seen.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Good, how are you?
Okay, this week, October 6th to the 12th, is also National Fire Prevention Week. We're recognizing and honoring all of the dedicated men and women who help Burlington County in times of crisis. Our firefighters are among the best, and we appreciate all that they do for our communities. This year's Fire Prevention Week campaign, Not Every Hero Wears the Cape, Plan and Practice Your Escape, works to educate everyone about the small but important actions they can take to keep themselves and those around them safe. In Burlington County, we have 60 fire stations and 38 fire departments with more than 750 firefighters. That's a lot of heroes in the county. I'd like to bring up Sandy Lynch. Sandy here?
Yep.
Hey, Sandy. Deputy Director Singh wasn't able to come this evening. By the way, he had a nice addition to his family. They had a baby this evening, so we wish them all well. A first responder for over 20 years, Sandy is in her 18th year as a career firefighter, EMT for Evesham Fire Rescue, where she was also a member of the Burlington County Technical Rescue Task Force. She is certified in critical incident stress management, has participated on the Mercury Critical Incident Response Team, a peer support team for first responders throughout South Jersey since 2002. Currently, she serves in the role as director. She is trained in many areas of critical incident stress management and peer support and has become an instructor for the International Critical Incident Stress Foundation. Additionally, Sandy is an instructor at the Burlington County Emergency Services Training Center, where she teaches new firefighters and an adjunct instructor at Rowan College in Burlington County, teaching in the EMT class. Graduating from Rowan University in 2001, she became a licensed athletic trainer, then co-founded a peer support team for athlete trainers in New Jersey. She currently sits on the National Committee providing peer support and team consultation for athletic trainers in our region. Sandy continued her studies and obtained her master's in public administration from Fairleigh Dickinson in 2009 and is currently taking classes to become a drug and alcohol addictions counselor, hoping to work with first responders suffering from addiction in their family. Sandy is a wife and a mom to 9-year-old Jackson, 2 pit bulls, and a cat. So I just want to say Burlington County recognizes Fire Prevention Week. The Board of Chosen Freeholders honors exemplary Burlington County residents for their achievements that make a difference in our community. This certificate is presented to Sandy Lynch, Evesham Fire Rescue, Marlton, New Jersey, on the 10th of October, 2019.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the volunteers that serve on the Mercury Critical Incident Response Team. Without the people dedicating their free time, we wouldn't really have a team. Our team serves Mercer to Cape May County, but being from Burlington County, most of us reside in this area. And also thank you to Evesham Fire Rescue, because over the last 19 years they have supported my efforts to volunteer and do peer support for all first responders in the area. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so at this time we're moving on to public comment on agenda items only. We're moving on to public comment on agenda items. This portion of public comment is limited to items on tonight's agenda. Anyone who wishes to speak on any other topic will have a chance to do so. Second public comment section later in the meeting. Please note that this is a public comment, your opportunity to provide us with input and feedback. It's not a question and answer forum. Each speaker may only come up once per public comment portion. And let's see, the first one on agenda. Teresa. Kopet. What is that?
Kopaz. It means
Okay.
It means bald.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, it means bald in Hungarian.
Okay. Good.
If you can just let me allow our president of the Friends to actually speak first. That's the only thing. And I'll-
Sure. Is this on an agenda item?
This is on an agenda item.
Okay. Sure.
We just had opening comments.
Sure.
Ryan Morgan, East Hampton. Hello, my name is Ryan Morgan. I'm president of the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. On behalf of our group, we wanted to thank all the freeholders here today for putting forth the resolution in support of TNR and recognizing the positive effect TNR can have on the community cat population. I also wanted to thank Freeholder O'Connell for coming to our 5K event. The other weekend was a very nice day. Everyone appreciates you coming out to support us. This really is a great start, but we hope the county will continue to work with our group to adjust policies that will give the townships incentives to get on board with this resolution and pass ordinances which will ultimately, lead to real change. So we think this is a great start, but we hope this is something that we can build upon, and we're here to support the county in any way we can. So we just want to thank you, hope this resolution passes, and we appreciate such a quick response in getting this, put forward, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you sign up for that one? If not-
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay. We have Alfred Martino.
Good evening, my name is Al Martino. I'm at 128 Williamsburg Way in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm also a volunteer with Babkas and a volunteer with Burlington County Animal Alliance. And I'd also like to thank the freeholders for putting forth the resolution in support of municipal TNR programs. And as Ryan said, I'm hoping that we can all move forward, and I'm looking forward to the shelter one day having a free TNR program at our county shelter to support the municipalities so that animals coming in are not euthanized, and that the cost of a TNR is much lower than the cost of killing an animal. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morgan, Ryan Morgan. Oh, you're already, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll just.
Short-term, my short-term memory is gone.
Answer, just take a spot. So, my name is Teresa Kopaz, 105 Westminster Drive in Mount Laurel. I am the TNR coordinator with the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. And I cannot tell you how excited I am actually to have this come up for a vote so quickly. I mean, I very much appreciate the fact that the freeholders have looked at the situation and taken it and really made an attempt to understand how important it is to us and how important it is that companion animals don't get euthanized at our shelter. I mean, and you know, just you know, the difference it will make to our volunteers should this resolution pass, and to the shelter staff who euthanize, you know, 9 cats a week, and you know, the occasional dog. I mean, it's just very exciting actually to have this come to the table tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. Brian Hackett.
Good evening, everyone. Brian Hackett, 1 Laurel Court in North Hanover Township. I also want to applaud Freeholder O'Connell and the Freeholder Board for proposing this Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return support resolution. This is a second iteration of this. I know several years ago the Freeholder Board had initially indicated support for this, and it's good to see it coming around again. I wanted to make a couple points for the record and for the freeholders. I work on these issues all around the state, and you know, this issue comes up. It's not just a Burlington County issue, and actually I'm proud to say when I do go around the state and work on these issues in my professional capacity, I often do talk about Burlington County and the shelter and what a fine staff there is, and the Fobcast group. It's a really, you know, well-run organization, and we've got some great employees. And that's a factor that I want to bring up to the Freeholder Board in terms of this Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return issue, because there is a human cost when towns do not have these ordinances that more humanely deal with community cats. What has happened for decades is they're basically trapped and rounded up, and they sit at the shelter, and then they're put to their death. What many towns in New Jersey and around the country are doing is this Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return solution, which is the only proven alternative that actually saves lives, saves a lot of taxpayer money. And I think it's important to state too that, you know, the county employees that are in the shelter, the human cost of having to euthanize an otherwise healthy animal that could otherwise be out, you know, living its life naturally in the community is just really just disastrous for morale, for emotional health. And so I think these ordinances are really important for local towns to pass. And on another front, I would encourage the county to really look at the contract that is utilized for municipalities that utilize our county shelter. There are several towns that unfortunately are sending hundreds of cats collectively, just those several towns to the shelter, whereas, you know, a town like mine is not really sending any. And I think the contract can be looked at and reevaluated to provide incentives to towns to properly manage community cats and do this TNVR. Monmouth County, for example, they charge towns $250 a cat that don't have TNR ordinances to responsibly handle this. I'm not proposing that here, but it's just an example of how other counties are really actively trying to encourage this through what powers they have. You know, of course, you can't force municipalities to pass ordinances, but there's a lot that the county can do, and I think this ordinance, or this resolution, is a first step. I really appreciate that, and in my personal and professional capacity, I'm happy to continue to work with the county on this. We've got a wonderful shelter, a wonderful Friends of group, wonderful employees, and I would like to see that no animals are needlessly euthanized when there are alternatives available that save money. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody else like to come up on the agenda item? Okay. A moving on to resolutions, since freeholders Singh and Hobson are not here tonight, I will be moving their items as well. I would like to make a motion that we approve resolutions I-1 through I-27 by unanimous consent.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, freeholder O'Connell.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I'd like to move resolutions I-28 and I-29 by unanimous consent.
So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have anything from the press? There's not a press. No press. I'm sorry we didn't get you any better PR. Okay, now we'll move on to public comment on non-agenda items. Once again, I would like to note that this is a public comment, your opportunity to provide us with input and feedback. It's not a question and answer forum. Each speaker may only come up once per public comment portion. Okay. Do we have any comments on non-agenda items? Okay.
Should I sign in first, or?
Yep. Give us, well, no, you don't have to sign. Just give us your name and address.
Ed Cohen, 15 Winterberry Court, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Last time we spoke, Freeholder O'Connell was at the Palmyra Cove Water Festival. I gave some wrong information that time. The Delaware River supplies drinking water for 5% of the U.S. population. It's a natural resource. Often we don't give value to our natural resources, at least economists don't. And it might be worth $2 trillion for the water supplies, but it would be worth a lot more for the water that we had to bring that in. And so a lot of our resources in New Jersey are worth much more than that. And the pipeline is something that is potentially damaging all that stuff, right? It's not even the construction of the pipeline and the potential damage of its leaks. It's really the long-term effects. When that pipeline gets put in, it's going to be pumping fossil fuels in the atmosphere for the next 40 years. And that's going to be a tremendous economic impact to our state and country and everything else. So anyhow, I would like you to retroactively deny the road closure permits for the construction of that pipeline. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have somebody else. Go ahead.
We want to thank you for passing the resolution. We know there's no press here, but we have a pretty large Facebook following, so freeholders would like to leave a few volunteers take a picture with us before we go today. We would definitely like to thank you publicly for passing the resolution.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Margot Pellegrino, 242 Chippewa Trail, Medford Lakes, New Jersey. First off, I do want to apologize for last meeting using the word permit when it should not have been used. I'm sorry also that that caused Freeholder O'Donnell to focus more on the syntax and definition of the word permit. And this is regarding the New Jersey natural gas pipeline. So yes, obviously you guys have permitted that with a permit. However, I do believe that the BPU does have to answer to the courts. So even if they were pressuring you to grant this permit, they still have to wait for what the courts will decide. And I took a little time today to look at Sierra Club New Jersey, Jeff Tittle's statements, the Pineland Preservation Alliance, because of course, you know, this violates the comprehensive management plan. And this is a big deal. And water quality is a big deal. And climate change is a really big deal. Right now, how many residents in California don't have power or they're expecting a blackout because of a private utility not keeping up with upgrades, and because they don't want to kill 79 more people plus how many billions of dollars worth of property damage, they're going to be experiencing blackouts. Now, I do think that we can look at California and say, gee, how many things were done wrong here? Let's not, our county, at least, because obviously we can't control the shenanigans in DC at the federal level, or even so much sometimes in our own state, our county can look at what we can do. And and we can rescind those permits. And we can say, hey, we shouldn't let our ratepayers, our residents, foot this bill for possibly, for something that we consider cheap gas, right? But I have with me today's New York Times business section, how Germany is looking to import LNG. We also know that there's an LNG facility proposed on the Delaware. So, why are we creating more dependency on something that is going to be skyrocketing in expense? I kind of feel this is really bad, especially since ratepayers are already paying for this pipeline, or supposedly paying for this pipeline, which actually, back again to the courts, might not even happen. Because now it's going to be a double whammy, though. I mean, like, if you want to look at the scenario of it going forward, and then all of a sudden now we're exporting to Europe, that cheap gas ain't going to be cheap. And we already know that that gas, the production of or the extracting it via fracking, is exempt from not the Clean Water Act, the Clean Drinking Water provisions of the federal government, okay, within the EPA. So that's even worse, because that's drinking water. And speaking of water, and I don't know, I mean, our waterways are an amazing resource in this county, as well as our drinking water. And that pipeline is going to go through toxic plumes. Now, I live in Medford Lakes. I'm lucky enough that I live on the lake, got in before the real estate went nuts. And one of our neighbors upstream from us had a couple oil issues. I don't even think they realized that they still had an oil tank in the ground after they already remediated their first one. The second one created a plume on the lake because what happened was their drainage from, I guess, I don't know if it was the road or from the roof that went underground actually was the conduit for the oil to go into the lake. Much the same that any pipeline going through this toxic plume on the base is going to be a conduit for that contaminated water and that plume to migrate to people's wells. This is a serious issue. And also, I mean, on an aside, I really hope that our actuaries within the county are looking at how climate change is going to be impacting our county. Right now, there's 2 roads I know of that are closed because of their low-lying areas. One is Skeet Road across from 70 going towards Vincenttown and New Freedom Road. And driving by after a flood that we had just recently had this past year, I remember thinking, gosh, this is so low. I can't believe that nothing has been done to remedy this. And it's like in danger of flooding as well as the bridges. And then on Flyett Road in Tabernacle is also out right now. So we have a lot of old infrastructure. I mean, I never really realized the extent that we have little bridges and little streams all over the place until all of a sudden the bridge is gone, and you have to be rerouted. So I do think in light of all this, climate change, ratepayers, the future, what their expenses are going to be, I think it would be in everyone's best interest if you rescinded the permits. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do you have anybody else? All right, seeing none, I will close this portion to the public, and we'll move on to freeholder comment.
Thank you, Director. Freeholder Singh's not here tonight. I wanted to congratulate him on his newborn baby that was born today. And the second thing I had is, even though we recognize Fire Prevention Week, I also don't want anyone to forget that we shouldn't just have one week. We should recognize them. The fire, police, emergency services, even sheriffs, every day for everything that they do. That's all I have.
Okay, freeholder comment.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I too would like to thank everyone for coming out here this evening, and I'd also like to congratulate my colleague Balveer Singh and his family on their new addition and wish them all the best. Before I make my other comments, I would like to provide some information around the resolution that's been spoken on today here by many of you. With the passage of today's trap, neuter, return resolution, the 2019 Burlington County Freeholder Board has made the commitment to work with our partner municipalities. With this resolution, we direct our solicitor to draft a model ordinances for the township to adopt. The TNR program will not work unless the townships provide authority through a township ordinance that allows the neutered animal to be returned to the location from where it was trapped. Our mutual goal cannot be realized without the support of our community groups here tonight. This project is massive in scale and will require 40 municipalities, 40 councils, and 40 mayors to agree that this program is right for them. We appreciate your patience as we continue to research best practices. This process will not happen overnight. It's going to take some time to do it right and requires the townships to participate. I thank everyone that is here in support of our animal shelter. I believe with the overwhelming support seen here today that we will be successful in achieving our goal of a no-kill shelter by 2025. And since our last meeting, I've attended 13 different events. I'd just like to highlight a couple of them. On October 1st, I attended the decennium celebration at our joint base, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the founding of the joint base McGuire Dick Lakehurst. Former Congressman Saxton was there. He was the keynote speaker. And after the ceremony, I went and thanked him for his efforts on behalf of the county. And I would recommend to any of you an article that Dave Levinsky wrote in Burlington County Times, I believe a week ago Sunday, about Congressman Saxton and his role in maintaining the base. Next, I attended on October 3rd the Military Affairs Committee, the Burlington County Military Affairs Committee, excuse me, their military appreciation dinner. I'd like to thank BMAC for the invitation. It was a great experience meeting men and women serving in our armed forces from all over the country. And last but not least, you see me wearing a purple ribbon. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And on October 4th, I represented the Burlington County Board of Freeholders at a Silent Witness Project event held here in Mount Holly at RCBC to remember the victims of domestic violence. Too often the perpetrators of violence, they get their names in the paper and they get some kind of notoriety in a perverse way. But over time the victims tend to fade in memory except for their loved ones. And it was nice to be at this event, to be remembering these people. And that's all I have today, Freeholder Director. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I didn't visit 13 places this week, so I feel like you're an overachiever. But I was honored to represent the Freeholder Board last week and give the state of the county. And I was very happy to say that the accomplishments that we have made over the last year and a half, maybe close to 2 years. We've concentrated on development of our parks, our trails. I'm very happy with, we've been working for quite some time on rolling out the new 911 communications. I hear that that is going excellent, so I'm very happy to hear that. I believe our assistant director back there said that talking to people over in Pennsylvania, it's like right next door, right? That's great. Tomorrow, I will be up in Bordentown. We're having a senior event. So if any of you would like to attend, whether you're a senior or not, it's a great event. There's a lot of people there that provide services for our seniors in the county. I want to end again with thanking all the directors that are here this evening. You get sick and tired of me saying it, like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, you know, the machine wouldn't keep rolling. So thank you so much for everything you do every day. I want to congratulate, and as the Freeholder McConnell said, we want to work hard with the communities, the mayors. We want to try as best as possible to get this program out there. You can count on us as a partner to do that. Now all we have to do is get all the communities on board and we'll be in good shape. Thank you all for coming this evening. All the people that were recognized, congratulations. safe trip, have a great evening. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.